Why, hello there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Mr. Doggo333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, the New Order as the United Mexican States. Now, last time we were here together, we're working pretty strong on our little bid to become the Olympic host in 68. And that's coming along okay-ish, I want to say. We're also working on our, if I can get it popped up, hold up, foreign policy, our effort to oust Senor Trujillo. Establish bases in Guantanamo, but I want to make sure we have the command power, because if we make sure we have enough command power, we can get these guys in. I guess these guys in theory, and that would be very useful to get an opinion boost for the leftist and nationalist, which we're trying to go for. Whether or not we'll be able to or not, I'm not quite sure yet, but you know, we can dream. We also have good cooperations with the U.S., so I think we will be okay. No matter what, really. You know, I say that and it's gonna tank everything. But look at that, our GDP is growing quite well right now. Our debt's growing in addition, which isn't the best. But what are you going to do? We have any proyectos to do? We do not. I'll pause my timer. Now let's take a look at some of these southern ones. There are probably some other, some more northern ones we got to, but I forget exactly where we left off. Did we do Veracruz? I don't remember reading Veracruz, but let's start over in the south and move our way more to the west. Start with Yucatan, which you have a little thing here, undeveloped territory. Quintana Roo is a territory not yet a free and sovereign part of the United Mexican States. This political designation reflects its tortured history, but also a social and economic reality. This vast land is sparsely populated and isolated. Its dense jungle and distance from urban centers serve as a powerful barrier to connectivity and growth. What more, the region has been left desolate following a century of civil war and ethnic violence that concluded only in the 1930s. Its minor inhabitants demonstrate clear wariness of deep integration after the violence and slavery they experienced at the hands of the Mexican state and mestizo population. Well, let's check out Merida. Built by Spanish hands and with mined stone atop the ruins of the ancient city of Tahoe, the city of Merida is the largest event its kind in the Yucatan Peninsula, and a standing reminder of Mexico's colonial history. Even now, the city's culture bears a specter of the influence of the Mayans and aspects of local foodstuffs, clothing, and even local language, a defiant legacy of a people thought erased by the advance of the conquistador. Merida still enjoys the benefits of their henequen industry, pioneered during the Porfiriato, that led to the creation of millionaires and mansions to house them, sporting elaborate homes either crumbling from time or standing proudly even now. It is now also able to enjoy the wave of interest in cultural and ecological tourism, proudly able to support both as tourists to come see the great Yucatan and the histories it holds. Nice. Let's check out Campeche while we're here. Nothing much changes in the small city of San Francisco de Campeche. An early focus of Spanish colonization, the city maintains an astonishing amount of the colonial-era architecture, from the fortifications to the historic churches to the Andalusian and Caribbean-inspired homes. The city is also inspired by lush, untouched jungle. Many prime and pre-Columbian ruins are also within a short distance, making the city a gem for tourists who want to see the rich history of the Yucatan. Unfortunately, the stagnation of the area is only good for sightseeing. Many residents here are still stuck in the coffee industry. As it has been for hundreds of years, they work themselves to the bone and send the fruits of their labor to lands they will never see or visit, paid a pittance of their worth. Will Campeche see this remain the slowly crumbling colonial era construction has always been? Some want to restore the city, while others want to tear it down. Well, I'll go ahead and resume my timer. Early in the morning, on March 21st, 1962, a small cylinder, no more than a couple of inches long, found itself lodged in the dirt of Mexico City, meant to serve in a leveling gauge, but forgotten. The lonely thing sat for hours, baking the sun, adding to the heat already emanating from the extremely radioactive Cobalt-60 capsule. Its solitude would come to an end, however, when a 10-year-old boy stumbled upon the capsule on his way home from school. The curiosity of the young boy overcame him, and for the next several days, the capsule found its new home in the child's pockets. He found himself traveling with him to school, to football practice, and to the boy's closet. But on April 1st, the mother took the capsule from the boy, and soon enough, the capsule would find a more permanent residence: the kitchen spice cabinet. Oh no. Shrouded in darkness, the capsule became acquainted with the voices of the family. Conversations about school, work, and the mother's incoming third child could be heard at the dinner table every night. 3 weeks after being placed in the cabinet, however, the conversation shifted to something new. The boy was sick. It was only getting worse and worse by the day. On April 29th, yeah, that's my birthday, the voice of the boy was absent the first time. Oh no, that's a horrible fucking birthday gift. Oh shit. And the sounds of sorrow came from the living room for weeks after the fact, soon turning into sounds of agony and desperation, as the same symptoms soon befell the pregnant mom. The days passed once more, and on July 10th, the voice of the mother disappeared as well. On July 22nd, the capsule was removed from its solitude, this time experiencing the familiar feeling of lead-coated gloves amidst the sounds of police sirens and investigators. It would meet its fate later that week at a disposal site, unaware of the suffering it wrought. The sister and grandmother followed soon after. Ah, Jesus. Alright, so it looks like... That's good to know that this is, in fact, tied to, all this is tied. The economy stuff is tied to the events and decisions, at least here. With, like, GDP growth. Maybe not growth per capita, but we're not really doing... Oh, we're actually doing okay in some areas. Just not so well in others. Although we're coming up in some areas. Could even do a tourist campaign if we so desired. I don't think we do, but we could. Okay, so we could get an extra unit with 12. And then train up in well, we'll get the extra unit. The extra unit will be 12. Train a base in Guantanamo, get an extra unit for 5. So, okay. General Cardenas to establish competitor CNC. Those hordes, that headline create a frantic sense of panic in the headquarters of the Popular Socialist Party in Mexico City. Many members of the PPS were also members of the Movement for National Liberation and looked to Lázaro Cardenas, finding some hope in their agrarian messaging. However, this move, while just a rumor at this point in time, was more than enough to scare many PPS members from continuing to support the MLN. All over the PPS headquarters, many members talked about the rumors. What is he thinking? He can't really believe he can beat the PRI in a fight, can he? We can't associate with him anymore. The PRI will squash him like a bug, and then anyone associated with him will be next. It's a shame that this is the path he chose. I really liked him. Still, you can't defy the PRI and expect to get away with it. In the days that followed, the publishing of the rumors of the MLN lost many members. Most were also PPS members, too afraid of the PRI to defy it. However, many members outside of the PPS also grew concerned. While they may not have left yet, the thought certainly burrowed its mind into the way of its minds. Uh-oh. Is that the same as Cardenas? Cardenas? It's the name of the Socialist Party? I think it more than likely is. Alright, look, I wanted to time these two so they're right next to each other. That way... Guantanamo. Bam. And then bam. We got 3 units that'll give us boosts. Our minimum supply will be a little we'll have, what, 97? But out of 100, that's not bad at all. And we'll save up so that we can unleash the DGI, I think. Alright, anyway. We got frontier culture done. For the topic of for this topic, both Diaz Ordaz and Salinas Lozano sat in the office of President Lopez Mateos. He wanted to hear the input of both men on how he should steer Mexican-American cultural relations. If you want to emphasize a shared history, cultural history, especially in the American frontier, then we make considerable progress in aligning the interests of the United States with our own. I know we have certain discrepancies in our respective approaches in our shared history, but these are not deal breakers at all. All that's required is time and effort, and we can smooth things out. I do not think so, Your Excellency, Salinas confessed to the president. Throughout much of modern Mexican history, we have rightfully built our country in opposition to the United States. These are not simple things that can be papered over with time and effort. These are fundamental differences that cannot be ignored. You can see how both men came to their conclusion. Salinas Lozano's belief is that American influence in Mexico is so pervasive that the only way to be truly neutral is to actively combat it. Meanwhile, Ordaz, a man whose entire life has been defined by working his way up the ladder, would naturally believe that such a divide could be bridged with hard work and time. As is often the case with many decisions, the final say came to rest upon the shoulders of President Lopez Mateos. Ordaz is right, smooth things over with the Americans. And that'll give us 5. And average with 0, average with 3. Alright, so it's 5 or more, makes us over-reliant on America, and force us, Mateos, to look to the more of the left, right. So we're there right now. The unlikely combination of the Mexican charm and the traditional Hollywood Western, wrapped up and delivered as an action comedy, has somehow proved to be a blockbuster in San Diego and Tijuana alike. A combination of star powers of American tough guy legend John Wayne and Mexican comedic superstar Cantinflas, Ambos Amigos, follows a series of train robberies into the Sonoran Desert in the 1910s. While the shady American mining company affected by these robberies sent in gunfighter, Wayne, the corrupt Mexican officials passed the buck to a bumbling local inspector, Cantinflas. After a series of hilarious collisions between the two, Wayne and Cantinflas team up to take down the bandits and the corrupt businessmen and politicians behind the attack. Critical reception has been mostly positive to this Tex-Mex mix, playing off the perceptions of Cantinflas being the underdog in this relationship. For the most part, he's often treated like a nuisance by Wayne, who often comes off as patronizing early in the movie. However, it's Cantinflas who turns this around, often playing the part of a comedic yet noble underdog hero, and putting his co-star in situations outside of his comfort zone. While this mismatch creates a competition between the two icons, it also makes the film mesmerizing, watching the two play off one another's strengths, making what reviewers deem an instant classic for both countries. Domestically, however, the film has sparked much debate. While the film's main message seems to be about the shared history of the Americas and the border regions in particular, some have seen the film as a distinctly Mexican triumph. Others have raised controversy regarding the film's casting of John Wayne, who has said less than savory things regarding other races. Regardless of what some may say, this flick will certainly be discussed and debated, driving more viewers to the box office. Amuses, causes critical controversy. Let's do a friendly visit, huh? Following a month of arduous planning and coordination, the celebration is in order. On the invitation of American President Mateos, will undertake a grand tour of the United States, putting a face on the success story of the Mexican diplomacy. This tour will conclude with a parade through Washington, D.C. and a dinner at the White House. It's also be an opportunity for Mateos to make friends with American businessmen and sell them an idea of moving some of their business into our country. Ooh. Okay, this could be crucial coming up here. Secretary Berard, I have 2 questions for you. President Lopez Mateos' scowl suggested neither had to do a successful luncheon they just held for the Brazilian ambassador. Can you explain how the complete unredacted plans for the upcoming U.S. visit fell into the Secretary of Industry and Commerce's possession? Salinas wasn't tapped for this effort, and this material was supposed to be held highly confidential after the relations debate. Barao swallowed. Perhaps it was consulted regarding some of the economic considerations and left an annotated copy of the plans on my desk, identifying several very real flaws and pitfalls. I don't care how many delegations we would reach. An invitation to speak at the OFM building in New York may as well be to San Jacinto or Columbus, New Mexico. Barao developed a frown to match Mateo's own. I fully agree that we should not be on the itinerary. That should not be on the itinerary given recent events. Secretary Ordaz and I are still reviewing and will. Barao's voice trailed off. We saw the president's fire eyes, not those of a careful diplomat or patron of the arts, but the boxer. And here came the next verbal blow. Ooh, these are both brutal. Oh, do we want Salinas here or not? Well, he's already shaping up pretty well, so I don't know. Be a hell of a lot more careful than you've been so far. No more leaks, no more illusions. Ooh, hold on, wait. So we get, okay, so there's a choice between increasing the opinion of Ordaz or Salinas. Let me see. I'm going to roll back real quick, and I will see what the other option gives us. 3 times the lies. Lies, damned lies, and statistics. The other line is pretty good, too. I can't lie. I can't deny that. Good old Mark Twain. Shout out Mark Twain. Grab my water. Alright, include Salinas. At least Nixon won't be able to run circles around one of you, the 3 of you. Okay, so this doesn't improve anyone. Ordaz checked his watch, grimacing at the time. Critical minutes that he could spend preparing the trip were dripping away. Also, he convinced President Lopez Mateos that having a neutral party was unnecessary. That neutral party was anything but, and Ordaz knew he would do anything and everything to sabotage the visit. The door to the president's office opened, and Ordaz straightened, assumed an emotionless expression, and entered. I expect you're here to discuss the arrangement with Salinas, Lopez Mateos said, not even bothering to look up from his papers. His tone was one of bored finality. I'm here to possibly have that arrangement expunged. Your Excellency, you know the dynamics and how Salinas operates. Yes, that's exactly why I sent him with you. I've been doing this work for years. My contacts and relationships require a deft hand to maintain. A person who understands their interest in culture. Salinas does not have that and never has had that. If he goes with me, he will insert himself into places he can never fit. I beg of you, do not send him with a delegation. Ordaz pleaded. Lopez Mateos sighed and invited him to sit down. He sat and thought for a moment. I understand your concerns, I really do. But this expedition looks like a shoe shining by most in the party. I will consider letting you go alone, but know that it will hurt the party, and me. If I let you go alone, don't let me down. Ordaz lightly shut the door. Mateos spent much of a day at the office before retiring. At his bedside, a little rotary phone lay. Mateos picked it up. Slight increase the stress of Lopez Mateos. The way that's color-coded, it's color-coded with the leftists and nationalists. So does that give me some bonus? Okay, Ordaz, the arrangement stands. It might. How many days do we have left here? Arturo Hamiz trudged up the dusty mountains towards his new home. Neither train nor bus came anywhere close to the small village of Mineral de Dolores, nestled in the arid mountains of Chihuahua. By now, he'd spent several days, first with his brother, then alone, hiking through ill-maintained dirt roads, stopping to rest in the tiny settlement which dotted his path, if he chanced to come upon them. It was like if they were anything of his like his destination, it was not an encouraging sight. Small fields of maize and wheat encircled shacks of rotting wood and thatch, held together with the occasional piece of rusted sheet metal. Even the churches were run down with stained walls and cracked roofs. The people were pleased to welcome a passing school teacher into their homes, but not until they learned that was what Arturo was. All the villagers expected a different kind of outsider to come knocking, one they were not too pleased to meet. It was around noon that as the pines and warbling of birds gave way to the chalky brown clearing in which Dolores was nestled. It appeared very much a repeat of all the previous settlements, barring the relatively large schoolhouse, which provided accommodations for teachers as well as classroom space. A weather-beaten old man leaned against the post near the village entrance sign, moving forward as he saw Arturo approach. Don't see a lot of youngsters coming through here. Mostly they just pack up and leave for Madera or Juarez. I guess you're the new teacher, Mr. Hamiz? Was it? That's me. I hope you stay here a while. I hope you do too. Just as long as Dolores is still here this time next year. There we go. We got that going. I wonder if there's anything that'll allow us to get another. Okay, so our minimum supply. Organize airborne forces. I'll focus on these. Well, that's strange, because it told me I would be able to train up a new unit. Now it's saying I can't, or that we're over. That seems to be a pretty nasty oversight. What do you mean our planes got leaked? Lazar Cardenas exclaimed, panic in his voice. Just that, sir. It seems that someone told the press about your plans to compete with the CNC. An MLN member told Cardenas, newspaper in hand. The movement for national liberation was in panic mode after news leaked that it would be challenging the CNC's monopoly on the peasant class of Mexico. The news coming out so prematurely met many MLN members, especially in the Popular Socialist Party, turned their backs on the movement. With membership dwindling, the organization's entire future was starting to become questionable at best. In the chaos and pandemonium, many members looked to Cardenas to guide them out of the crisis into the future they all envisioned. Sir, what should we do? Cardenas was thinking hard on how to remedy this crisis. This was the MLN's first test, and if it faltered here, the road ahead, all of them would only grow harder. Hasn't popped up. Membership quitting, the organization's entire future was starting to become questionable at best. In the chaos and pandemonium, many members looked to Cardenas to guide them out of the crisis and into the future they all envisioned. Sir, what should we do? Cardenas was thinking hard on how to remedy this crisis. This was the MLN's first test, and it faltered here on the road ahead of them. And if it faltered here, the road ahead of them all would only grow harder. We stay the course. It may seem tempting to make a rash decision now, to go public early to drastically alter our plans, but those options only set us up for failure. For now, we carry on. Recoup the membership that we lost on the PPS and pull it out, continue to expand our voices across Mexico. When you have enough people behind us, that is when we go public, and this is when we truly bring the fight to the CNC and the corporate system. The first of many tests. Alright, we got a month left. We're losing operational strength now. Shit. Let's bribe some officials. Can't go wrong there, I think. Swell some weapon stockpiles. Let's do that. From our last lesson, who can remember what happened to Mexico after the Foreign War? Said Arturo, watching a number of hands shoot up. You suppose those 3 textbooks really had made a difference. The government owed Europe a lot of money, but the country was ruined, so we couldn't pay them. Well done, Carlito. Can anyone name another? Just like us, then. We can't pay them either. The voice came from Raul, normally a very quiet student. Arturo stopped. When he came to Dolores and the villagers, all the villagers expected someone else. A debt collector, perhaps. Hold on a second. Who's them? The men from outside. Maybe you haven't seen them yet. We don't owe them money, but they say we do. Sometimes they beat people. Papa says they want to build a mine here, but we can't until we all leave. Oh, so that's who all the nearby villagers expected when Arturo was passing through. Not good at all. But perhaps something to rally around. Well, that's certainly a problem. But consider this. Some of you may have read ahead. Can anyone tell me who won the war between Mexico and France? We did, said Angelina. Arturo smiled. Damn right we did. Then he stopped. That was a bad word. Don't repeat it. Oh, fuck! I didn't mean to click that. All right, time to load the autosave. Oh, our credit rating's going up. That's nice. Willy Brandt. Oh, motherfucker. Did that really have to tick on the 31st, or right before the autosave? Okay. That could have been very important. I don't know what happened. I didn't see anything pop up. If it's just a random nonsense event, I'm gonna be mildly annoyed. I didn't mess with any of you. I feel like I have to go back and reload it, though. Just to figure out what the fuck happened. Alright, boys, time to speedrun. It's time to speedrun everything we just did. It's a little awkward. Salinas. Do. We could coordinate with the DGI. Potentially. Let's contact dissidents and exiles. Grab some officials. That gets us up to 100%. First of many tests. Bad word, don't repeat it. And then what do we got? All of these guys. There we go. Okay, it wasn't even that important, but what are we gonna do? Well, it's maybe a little important. Today was a special day for Ernesto P. Urtu. His 10th anniversary as Regent of the Federal District. To mark the occasion, he decided on a simple yet effective display. As a group of reporters looked on, Urtu boarded a public bus. The driver, a member of the Alliance of Drivers, recognized him immediately. Was one of the many unions aligned with the Regent. "Welcome aboard, Licenciado Urtu. Please have a seat." Hearing this comment, and the other bus passengers, mostly middle-class riders, were starstruck. They greeted the Regent warmly, and many rose to shake his hand. As Urtu sat down, the bus began its journey through the heart of the city. It cruised with him down the wide avenues and passed by orderly markets, all of them his creations. When he saw people lined up outside a respectable cinema, he smiled to himself. The wretched brothels and gambling halls that once stood there were long gone. Disembarking at the end of a bus route, Urtu found himself in a public park filled with flowers. He considered the vast array of flower beds which dotted the city one of his greatest accomplishments. Excuse me. A dazzling display, followed by residents and tourists the world over. As he walked back to his office, Urtu reflected on the past 10 years. He was often called the Iron Regent, and the moniker was a fitting one. Through hard work and determination, he had transformed Mexico City, making it his own. The president might live here, but in the city, Urtu was king. Congratulations are in order. How are we doing loyalty-wise, by the way? Okay, the bureaucracy is very totally loyal. The industrials aren't very happy, admittedly, but they're not powerful, so it doesn't matter too much. All very good to know. I'm going to go ahead and leave things there, but thanks always for watching, gang. Like, dislike if you didn't. Leaving comments or feedback down in the comment section below. I read all comments I get. I appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Check my various links down in the description box below. And, well, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and leave things there. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.